You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get your last word.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rich. Alongside me, as always, my co-host, Runz.
Currently embroiled in a well-fought Bunkhouse Buck and Hacksaw Jim Duggan match from 1995.
I can't believe you're watching Super Bowl.
There's nothing better than, really just bad WCW. It's really entertaining.
I mean, if you want to watch bad WCW, Halloween Havoc with the...
see, but I've watched that so many times with the House of Horrors and all
that.
Yeah. It's on mute, so what difference does it make? And, it's enjoyable to see what WCW was like in 1995.
All right. I'm going to bring up Tony Schiavone in a second because the fact that you're not listening to him is he's the reason. You're the reason right now why he's working at Starbucks. But before we get into any of that, I just want to remind you guys we're being brought. We're being brought you in partnership with LastWordOnSports.com and PWP ProWrestlingPonderings.com. We are also broadcast on the W2M, the Wrestling to the Max Network. You can find them on Facebook. You can send us emails directly at runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at Running Wild, LWOS. And you can find me on Twitter as well as Rich_Laconi. All right. With that out of the way.
Now, first of all, I put on these old WCW shows because I enjoy hearing Tony Schiavone. Second of all, Tony Schiavone is currently employed as the play-by-play announcer for the Gwinnett Braves, a.k.a. the Atlanta Braves farm system. Also, my favorite baseball team.
And they pay him so little that he has to get a job. I'm not joking. At Starbucks.
Yes, well,
look it up right now.
It's during the off season.
Google that shit. It's amazing. I was floored. The break.
He's a play-by-play announcer.
Tony Schiavone. He was in WWE.
Before WCW.
Yeah, WWF. Bring him in. Make him grow that mustache back.
Too late now. But anyway, we're going to spend more time talking about wrestling than there was wrestling on Monday Night Raw. By the way, I timed it when I got home today, and it was approximately 28 and a half minutes of wrestling in a 3-hour broadcast. I did not count commercials because I don't get to see that wrestling. So that doesn't count.
Well, listen, this is what happened. I called Vince and I said, Vince, listen, I have to take a test, all right, that expires Tuesday. So I have to take it Monday night, Vince, and I need an episode that I can listen to, but I don't have to watch the screen completely. And Vince said, no problem.
Well, but that's exactly what he gave us because and thankfully he did because I watched Game 7 instead of paying full attention to Monday Night Raw. I had Raw on the TV and I had the game on my computer. And I thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of the game. What I actually paid attention to on Raw was pretty entertaining. But everything else, wow. There was a low blow, a DQ, Dana Brooke just squashing Natalya. What was the point? There was 11 of that 28 minutes was the last match. So what the hell? As soon as Raw started, and we got Shane and Stephanie giving that whatever, and then the New Day came out and they were whatever, and then it was the Vaudevillains, and I was like, this is not a good start. This is not how you start a real episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, but it's not. It's the Memorial Day episode.
Correct. So I always get my hopes up, maybe this will be a normal episode, because in my opinion, if you like watching wrestling and go out and care about watching Monday Night Raw, no matter where you are, first of all, it's Monday night, so where are you going to be? Memorial Day is over. And if you care enough about wrestling, you're going to watch it. If I was having a barbecue on Memorial Day, I would put on Raw at 8 o'clock. What?
I don't do. I mean, I've had a long-standing I don't do stuff because wrestling's on. I remember like going. There were times on Monday nights where your sister and the rest of the gang would be on the corner at the bar, and
those hooligans, the gang on the corner,
like, yo, just come out, and I'm like, it's Monday. They're like, yeah, but like you actually DVR Raw. I was like, yeah, but I only DVR it so I can watch it a little bit later than it comes on. So I'll come out at 8, but I gotta be home by 9:15 because if not, I can't finish it before I go to sleep. You know, like.
It doesn't, it's strange to me. Like, there are times, like, we would go to the bar, and they would have Raw on. And us, the bartender, like, we would watch it full volume. So, I don't, to me, if you like watching wrestling enough, you're going to watch Monday Night Raw. Like, it doesn't matter that it's Memorial Day. First of all, like I said, it's Monday night. People are already home getting ready to go back to work the next day. If they're still at a barbecue, what are they going to be home by? 9, 10?
Yeah.
Like, to me, I don't know. Like, I go out, I go to barbecues, I know people who do stuff. Still, most people are not doing something at that 10 o'clock hour.
No, I would choose not to do something. And what bar did you get to listen to wrestling over the speakers? I need to know.
Blackbirds.
Jesus, like I don't. That hasn't.
The bartender was a really big wrestling fan, so on Monday nights, he would watch Raw. So, like, the 5 of us we went a couple times, and it was really, like, it was fun to be watching it with, like, 5 people on your sides,
Yeah. Man, I only got
felt like you were there.
Once. WrestleMania 18 or something in Buffalo, at Buffalo Wild Wings, which is kind of, like, terrible that I actually went to Buffalo Wild Wings there. I almost got into a fight because I was rooting for The Rock against Hogan. And some guy got in my face. It was great. And then a very large man that was with me stood in front of him and was like, he can root for whoever he wants. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because the dude was like legit angry that I would root against Hogan. And I was trying to explain, as a fan of the product, I don't think the old man who doesn't really wrestle anymore should go over the talent that's currently there.
My, how wrong you were.
I know, what an idiot. I mean, Raw was missable, and I mean, I joked about the test. I mean, I really had to take the test, so it really did help. But
absolutely,
I got the major points of it while being able to be engrossed in something else. I don't blame them for that. Like, I don't blame them for like a show like that. If you watched it. And you watched it, and it developed a lot of the stories, right? Or set new ones.
Why was every match pointless? Like, that's my thing. Like, you don't need to have all of your main stars right now in one match, and then everything else was kind of just like,
yeah.
Like, why bother? Just spread them out throughout the show, and then you get a different result. Like, you don't have to make the entire show pointless,
Yeah. I mean, I think we've been a little spoiled the last couple of weeks, though, in terms of the fact that, everything's meant something, right? And I mean,
somewhat.
Yeah, there's a lot of TV. I mean, I'm okay with this. I wasn't upset with this episode. I mean, I wasn't like, this is a great episode of Raw. And if I was there, I would have been pissed. But like,
furious.
But like for me at home on Memorial Day weekend, I'm good. Like I'm okay with that. Now they have to next week's out of me.
Like, will be like, they'll pack it in to make up for this one. But, I understand it's the holiday, whatever reason, I get it. But I just feel like you don't have to fully mail it in, and maybe them giving us the Styles and Cena thing was them trying to like, okay, at least you got this, But I don't know. I still could have done with a little more wrestling instead of like. There was one point where like they did the whole Reigns Rounds thing where, what the hell was that? But then then it was a commercial, then it was a promo for a movie, then it was a commercial, then it was the Flair video package, then it was a commercial. Like, come on. I just watched 20 straight minutes of nothing. That's not fair.
It's not fair to Flair.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren was complaining about it, but she just started playing games on her phone. Oh, sorry, Statwife. So it wasn't that episode. I mean, like I said, I guess I'm just looking forward to next week. I'm kind of oddly trying to be positive because I'm just pretty happy with the way things are going. I'm happy they turned to AJ with the Bullet Club. Although I'm kind of confused as to why he didn't just do this the whole time. But
well, I really liked it because I think you said you didn't really see it coming, and the only time that I saw it coming was right before it happened.
yeah.
So, that's fine with me. No problem. You had me up until they were standing next to each other. You had me. Because when Gallows and Gunn came out, I was just like, oh, okay. Maybe they'll come out, they'll beat them up or whatever, they'll run them off, then we'll get a match. Cool. But they completely went the other way, and AJ is full on Bullet Club, and I don't think they could have done this in a more effective way. Obviously, maybe they tried it with Reigns and it didn't work, and now they just went this route. Like, okay, it's got to work with Cena, right? But I don't know. This was really effective. Everyone was booing him. Some people cheered when he was running back to the ring, but, for the most part, he was getting booed.
Imagine. I mean, it wasn't going to happen. Just imagine Cena was Bullet Club.
That was another thing that crossed my mind. Like, maybe he'll come, when they were standing next to each other, I didn't know which way it was going to go. I thought someone was turning. I will always hold that little twinkle in my eye, that glimmer of hope that one day it will be John Cena. One day it has to be. But, I don't know.
How long do you think it takes a writer to get fired after he brings it up during a meeting with Vince? All right, so I think that John should. God damn it! What did I say? He's never turning heel. You're fired. 8 seconds. I feel like
they definitely have a company-wide policy. Do not ever mention John Cena turning heel. Never.
That shit's gonna be on his tombstone if he dies before Cena retires. Don't turn Cena heel. It's just gonna be on his tombstone so that there's never debate.
Hustle, loyalty, respect.
Oh, that's. I mean, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but
I might put that on my tombstone.
Oh, hustle, loyalty, respect. I'll put the 3 eyes.
And then the 3.
I got the 3 eyes.
3 eyes.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Intelligence, integrity, intensity. That's dope for me. I like those.
Yeah.
That's a mantra.
Hustle, loyalty, respect isn't that. Not the worst, but not the best.
Crude, lewd, and tattooed.
Yeah, that was the greatest for you. Couldn't be further from the truth. And you'd always try to sell it well, at least I'm crude and lewd.
Yeah.
Nope, not even close.
I just really like that, Jen. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
All right, so we had we talked about Cena and AJ.
And also, Gallows and Gunn attacking New Day was pretty cool. So,
yeah.
Do you think, this is clearly separate storylines when they need them to be, but storyline, because then that would be New Day teaming with John Cena, which would make their number 4, and versus the Club, whose number currently sits at 3. So if only there was just somebody on their roster who was ready to be called up to the roster and, just skyrocketed right into this storyline, that then I could really see where they're going with this. But I don't know that they have that guy.
Yeah, I feel like after releasing Alex Riley, they really don't have anybody to fill that spot. So I wish I could think of somebody, maybe a former
who's that guy?
Developmental champion.
Who's that guy? Frank Valiant? No, Frank.
Oh man, Bob.
What's his name? Finn. Finn is his name, right?
Finn
something or other.
Devitt, right? Devitt?
No, I think Finn Balor. Finn
Oh,
Balor.
Balor.
There you
Yes,
go.
yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
What about that guy?
I-
He could probably fit right in with these guys, right?
That would be an interesting. I mean, I don't know. Like, would that sell shirts? Would that like inspire a logo for a podcast? I don't know. I don't know the answers to these questions. I think we need to leave
I don't
those to
know.
the
Like,
big people.
if only we could have. Maybe there's like somewhere like off in Japan. Maybe there's like some group who did things like this, and maybe there's footage of it that we could see if it gets over and works or something like that.
Man,
You know, it wouldn't be in the U.S., but definitely, you know, maybe somewhere overseas, Europe, Japan, somewhere like that.
God, imagine it happened like in Hawaii. I don't think so. No, because then you could put that show on the WWE Network.
Nah, it won't be on like that house show. It's
That would be sick.
like I could see this as just like, you know, you have 4, we have 3. All right, we'll be bringing someone. And then,
Yeah, I mean,
you know, they
I don't
bring
think-
someone at the pay-per-view, and it's.
I think it's 2 storylines. I don't think it's one, because I think that I could see like
But
New Day.
at some point it has to be one, right?
Oh,
Like it could always be just a 4-on-3 match, but they gotta all, you know, it only makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you do the Cena AJ stuff, and then you have Bullet Club face New Day, and then like
with Styles at some point.
no, they don't even need Styles. They just lose. Like let's
Well,
say
I'm
they
saying
lose.
like at some point they do a 3-on-3.
Yeah, but
you know?
they bring up no, they do a 2-on-2, right? And like let's say like from the outside, whoever's outside, Kofi or Xavier, right? Like they help New Day keep the belts, and now Bullet Club pulls up Finn Balor to even the odds. Like they don't need AJ to be there.
Well, correct. But if like, well, what I'm saying is like if it's only going to be 3-on-3, then they already have a third person. So it would be weird to be like, oh no, well, not that guy. Have someone else. You know what I mean? Like, and plus, it would just be odd to keep them totally apart. Like, I feel like at some point it's got to be a 4-on-4, 4-on-3, something like that.
I just don't want to hear Cena.
Maybe not.
New Day, man.
Maybe this isn't a 4-on-3. You know, maybe it's not anything. But I don't know. It just kind of makes sense.
Listen up, Jack.
Cena with New Day could be semi-entertaining because he's so like big and like just awkward. You know.
I just hear him saying Jack over and over again. I want them to make fun of
Always.
Jack. I want them to make fun of his shorts.
His jorts. By the way, after watching it, they were not that obnoxious, his Allen shorts. We had a long discussion of this, of whether it was disgraceful to wrestling or not. But when he was out there, they kind of just looked like regular wrestling shorts.
Did you see that? What's it called? The Young Bucks tweeted a picture of like shorts that had like
Yeah, with them on it.
yeah, which I was pretty.
By the way, there is somebody sitting in the front row of this pay-per-view who is dressed as Stevie Ray, wearing full-on Harlem Heat gear with just the like crossing little strap and no shirt on. Just the entire 3 hours.
I mean, I saw a guy in Detroit at WrestleMania who's dressed, 2 guys, Hogan and Warrior together, all right? They were both straight. Now, this is Detroit in April. So it's not like super hot out. Just in the underwear.
Well, but WrestleMania.
Wait. And had his head shaved so he had the Hogan bald pattern. like
It's dedication.
and the real hair. Like he had he grew it out.
But I bet you he was not sitting in the front row to watch Kevin Sullivan against literally somebody that I cannot even name.
What do you mean? You can't you don't know what?
No, I literally don't know who he is. Like I don't even know how to go about looking him up.
They didn't say his name before the match?
I didn't pay attention.
You got to go back now. I mean, the listeners need to know. I want to know who this is that you don't know.
I'm gonna
It's very clear.
clearly take a picture of this so you can see this.
Oh, that'll be even more fun. This is live trivia, folks. So while we're getting that ready, what did you?
I'll text this to you.
You heard about Rhodes and Rhodes going to be facing off against Kurt Angle August 27th. That's already one of the one checklist.
Did we? I think we talked about the checklist last week, and I mean, yeah, like that's the first step to it. It should be pretty cool, you know, but I'm really looking forward to when he faces people that like are new. You know what I mean? The Adam Coles, the Young Bucks, the Kyle O'Reillys, the Kenny Omegas, those kind of guys. But this will be a fun wrestling match. It'll be awesome to see. I don't know if we ever will get to actually see that, but I'm sure someone will throw it up online at some point.
Most likely.
Any idea who that guy is? I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to go with Dave Sullivan.
Oh, maybe that makes sense.
I think he was Kevin Sullivan's.
Oh, yeah, because,
brother.
Okay, on the back, on his tights, it says EVAD, and I was like, what the hell is that? So that makes sense because it's Dave backwards. All right.
I think I am looking up right now. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's definitely him.
Nice.
That makes sense. I knew he was somebody that, like, I've heard, you know, he was somebody's, like, half not their brother. Like, I knew that. But I didn't even put it together.
Yes, he was dyslexic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading on Wikipedia.
Jesus.
It says the
90s.
Dyslexic brother of Kevin Sullivan.
Nice.
Oh, that's amazing.
So not even a real mental handicap. Okay, cool. Great job. Yep. So what else on Raw? Literally nothing in Money in the Bank. I thought maybe we'd get. Are they just going to give us like, oh, look who the seventh man is? They're returning Randy Orton. Like, you know, is that what we're going to get? Because at this point, I feel like that slot is not necessarily being built up, but it's being held off for some reason. You know? Why wouldn't they have done it this week?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they have done it on SmackDown? You know, so there's a reason why they're waiting to have this match or announcement.
I don't want it to be Randy Orton.
No, definitely not. But could I really be mad? Like, I don't know.
I'm not mad, but
he hasn't been there in forever.
Here's my thing. I
can't come back and be in the ladder match though. But go ahead.
Yeah, and he's gonna win. I mean, he's not gonna win.
No chance. Yeah.
You know,
but
like
that's the thing. Like he comes back, he has a good match. He doesn't lose either.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could.
They always have someone in there that I don't like. So whatever.
Exactly. Well, I think that's kind of Del Rio already, but.
No, it's usually like Kane. I don't mind
Del Rio fills that void for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really don't like. And like if he wins, ugh. You know what I mean? Like that's that Kane void. Is like if that guy wins, I'm gonna go crazy.
I like him much better when he doesn't translate everything he says in Spanish.
Yeah, right. As if that was ever possible.
Because when he's a good guy, he has to translate. The good guys have to translate everything. The bad guys will just say it and just keep going.
Yeah. Just not care that you don't understand them.
Exactly. That's why I like him better than when he's in El Patron.
But he hasn't done anything. Like, you know, like he's just around.
I want you to know because you got me started with this. So after what you're watching with Dave and Kevin Sullivan's matches, all right, he ends up becoming Hulk Hogan's biggest fan, right? Whatever.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. That's why I know.
Then
who he is.
After this. Okay, he falls in love with Kimberly, DDP's wife, and gives her presents and weird stuff because he's like kind of slow. So he's like a precursor almost to Eugene, because he's dyslexic. Like I don't understand social interactions because I see words backwards. Anyway, and then he feuds with Big Bubba Rogers because Sullivan had a pet rabbit that he brought to ringside, and Bubba was allergic. So he started wearing a surgical mask to keep from inhaling the allergens, and Sullivan would try to pull it off to get the victory.
Can't wait to watch this.
You need to watch.
I'm sure it ends in a pay-per-view match. I'm just gonna watch this WCW 1995 every pay-per-view.
My God. Ah, God.
I mean, it might take me some time, but it'll happen.
God.
There's a summer coming up. I have 18 days left to work.
All right, what else happened on Raw we got to talk about?
Nothing. You got Dolph Ziggler kicking Baron Corbin in the nuts. So I asked my student, because he was super hyped about Dolph Ziggler and really hated AJ Styles. And so I was like, so let me ask you a question. What's the difference between Dolph Ziggler kicking Baron Corbin in the nuts and AJ Styles beating up John Cena? Why is Dolph Ziggler's actions okay? And he was like, well, because because Corbin did it to Dolph first, and AJ just attacked him while he was taking off his shirt. And I was like, okay, yep, logical. I was just like, all right, yeah, you got it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that stuff.
Okay, yep, correct. I guess. Still think it's despicable, but What else? So Dana Brooke squashed Natalya, Joy, Bullet Club attacked New Day. We discussed. Enzo and Cass beat the Dudleys. Who cares? But they did pin Devon again, so hopefully, eventually, this will become Blu-ray and turning on Devon. Maybe with the brand split, that would make a ton of sense.
That'll be the second time the Dudleys are affected by the brand split.
Yeah, Reverend, testify.
There's the Ospreay match. I mean, we didn't. Oh, we're still talking about Raw. Sorry.
We had Rusev and Ryder, Joy. I really think that's it. All 28 minutes of wrestling. Really nothing. We got a promo from The Miz saying that he's filming a movie and he's just going to be cutting promos for the next 4 to 5 weeks. So, that's great because that's what you want to see with the Intercontinental title. Yeah, I think that's about it. We got a 6-man tag that I didn't really even care about because I've seen these guys wrestle for the past 6 months.
I mean, I don't really have anything to say.
That was your Memorial Day episode. Lots of commercials, lots of just like, hey guys, welcome back from commercial. Now we're going to take a look at this commercial. What? What? What just happened?
Yeah.
Lots of that.
I mean,
I just hate that. Like, just give me something. Something in between.
And then, I mean, I guess the biggest wrestling stuff this week was the Ospreay match.
My, oh my. If you haven't seen it, haven't heard about it, and then you live under a rock, but Will Ospreay and Ricochet and the Best of Super Juniors, I think it was day 5, like May 27th. Wow. What a match. Not your catch-as-catch-can technical wrestling showcase. This was just 2 freak athletes countering each other's moves and, reversing, one-upping each other, and that's enjoyable. It wasn't, to me, they do it in a way that blends with their wrestling. Like they're not doing the cartwheel just to do the cartwheel. It's like a cartwheel out of a reversal or something like that, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So yes, it's over the top. Yes, it's one step, a little far, but if you can do that stuff and still put on a good wrestling match and make me enjoy myself, then why would I complain, I
mean, there's there's 2 schools of thought on the entire match. Look, some of the stuff is just cool to watch. I think what I enjoyed about it was like, wow, I didn't even know you could do that. Like some of the way they were.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But to be honest, I'm good. Like I saw that. I don't know how many times I have to see. If I saw that too much, it would be, that can only happen once in a blue moon.
Exactly. And, it won't happen every match. They do it. Like the 6-man tags are always like that. Like the Young Buck matches are always, but see, like that's what the Young Bucks do, and you love the hell out of it. So like, it gets to a point that, yes, it can be too much, but if you're doing it in a way that blends with your character and your wrestling, then it's not as noticeable, you know? And I think this goes into anything. It goes into the NBA. It's not as physical as it used to be, or music isn't as good as it used to be. And, you know, it goes into all of that. Nothing is as good as what you remember the old school as. But this generation, this school, this era, this style has its own good points that some people just don't like to acknowledge, you know, like Vader saying this wasn't a good match, or old school NBA guys saying Steph Curry is terrible. Like, certain things are just like, yo, come on, man. Like, you're not looking at this objectively. Like, this shit is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the same reason. Like, it's the difference between the fact that, like, my wife hates rest holds.
Yeah,
you know, like, hates them, and I'm like, yo, they make so much sense, and if you do them right. And what I hate about Raw sometimes is, like, I've actually argued this before, that sometimes the matches are cut so short that in that match, if you have a rest hold that you're not slowly getting out of, you know what I'm saying? When they just, like, hook it on and then, like, it feels like 30 seconds later they're already out of it.
Yeah.
And you're rushing it because you have no time, then you shouldn't just do it. You know, like, a rest hold is best, I think, when, like, the person has to build and get out of it, you know? And
I mean, like,
there's something for that, you know?
I think there's also a difference, like, between, and this goes to what you're saying, like, there's a difference between, like, Kevin Owens putting on a headlock as a rest hold and, like, talking shit through it and doing things through the rest hold, and there's a difference between Randy Orton putting on a headlock and just laying there. You know, like, there's a way to do a rest hold now, and there's a way to do a rest hold that was back in the day. And, you know, that style is way more entertaining to most people, you know, the shit talking and the movements and the trying to fight back or whatever the case. Whereas, you know, I get it. That's part of Orton's character. His methodicalness is part of what makes people hate him, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, sometimes it's like, okay, dude, do something, please. You know, and I think watching New Japan and watching some guys on NXT and watching ROH, I've really become accustomed to this fast-paced and high move, like, you know, up-tempo style, that these matches to me are kind of like, oh man, all right, it's not normal, but I'm more accepting because I've watched this shit in PWG. Because PWG is the best example I can give, because it's like one-offs, you know, like, you're brought in to have a great match, you have a great match, done deal. So that's kind of what this is like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to each his own. Like I said, I mean, I thought it was cool. I wouldn't want to see it all the time. You know, if I'm on a card with a match like that, and there are no selling moves that I'm using to be impactful, I could see getting irritated. You know.
Yeah, but, you know, there's that. I think that also is an old school way of thinking. Like, it's not how you do it or whatever. It's not if you're doing the move. It's how you're executing it and when you're executing it. You know, because the Young Bucks do 1,000 super kicks, but when Kyle O'Reilly or Adam Cole or someone else throws a super kick, it's not like ineffective, or you're not like, you don't not care about it. You know.
Yeah. I guess I'm a little
to an extent.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, what we're discussing now is people's problem with independent wrestling. You know, is that's what it is just a spot fest, and that's where WWE has such a hard time transitioning people to slowing down and not doing it the way that you're accustomed to, and, you know, doing it our way, and it's better.
Like Apollo, right?
Well, the best example is Runz.
Okay.
Because Runz almost got fired because he refused to change. And Triple H sat down with him one day and said, yo, either change or you're gone. And thank God he changed, because, wow, man, did we miss that guy.
I want to know just if every time, because, like, well, you watched the WWE 24 Seth Rollins thing.
Yes. Which, you know, first of all, we have to say that it was phenomenal.
Wow. I mean, Lauren came in, Statwife came in towards the end of it. And I was like, wow, that was really great. I don't. She doesn't talk like that. I don't know why I did that, but she really enjoyed it. It made me think about one thing because like he got injured. Like it's like right after he got injured, like right before the surgery, they were already going to do this, right?
And
like
you said this to me earlier, and I had time to think about it. And my thought was, well, we're paying him, so we might as well get something out of this. We'll film him, we'll follow his recovery, and then we'll throw it on the network.
What I want to know is I hope this happens for everyone who gets hurt.
Well, they haven't done like a Tyson Kidd one. I guess that's Total Divas' job. But
no, like I want Epico. Like I want to see the Epico one, or like I want to see like the Jey Uso one. Like I like the idea.
No, but like I would watch all of them too. You know what I mean? Like,
me too. Doesn't matter. Is there anyone who I would? My favorite would be Great Khali.
No thanks.
An hour.
But that might be the one that I don't watch. But if you don't like Seth Rollins and you watch this documentary, there's no way you don't love him after the documentary. Like him crying like for missing WrestleMania and crying when he got hurt because he's gonna miss wrestling. Like that's the shit that I fucking love. Like, you know, when I know that you're a diehard for what I'm getting so much enjoyment out of, that just makes me love you even more. Like the fact that you want to be there as much as I want to see you there is, you know, like that's why I love Cena so much, is because of that aspect. You know, I hate his character, but the guy is who better could we ask for? You know, the guy busts his ass to come back from every injury ever, you know, just so he could be on Raw. Like, not because he's getting paid or, you know, any shit like that. He wants to be there.
I mean, he hustles because he's loyal to the fans because he's earned their respect. You know, no.
Well, yeah,
terrible.
I mean, his mantra is legit. Like, you know, that's
you know, they can't show John Cena's recovery because, like, there's some alien shit going on with his recovery. Like every time
they can't show his recovery because they've showed it 7 times already. Like, you know, he has like 4 DVDs and
does he really?
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Like right after the Rollins shit, there was My Life John Cena, and I was like, oh, that's definitely the same exact thing.
Go to the mean streets of West Newbury, Massachusetts.
But like, you know, we talked about this privately, but like the fact that we were watching ROH footage and like ROH versus Cesaro and Bryan and Owens and hearing Zayn and those guys talk about it was just like, what? Like I was there. Like I saw Rollins and these guys in ROH. Like this is the first time that I've watched a DVD and they've shown, you know, like somebody else, and I've been like, what? Oh shit! Like, you know, I saw this guy.
Yeah, that's that was for me really like enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know, like we go to these little things and these guys are there and we get, you know, like you never know, like
and exactly that's what. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Like, well, I just want to tell you, breaking news on June 17th, Lio Rush is going to be at the Fighting Spirit wrestling event, bro.
Oh, nice.
You know, that's a dude like that. This is like one of those times where we can be like, you know, 10 years from now, you know, I saw Lio Rush at an American Legion, you know, and great, you know, and deep.
To an extent, yes.
You know, like you never know.
But like, you know, and that's the thing. Like when I first went to ROH, it was Bryan and Nigel. So, you know, I went there knowing those two guys and knowing that they were stars. I left there knowing that Kevin Steen, El Generico, and the American Wolves were also stars. And, you know, we weren't wrong about that. But Seth Rollins, like, I fucking hated Tyler
I
Black.
don't like him. When he became champion, I was like, oh my God, like, great wrestler. But his, like, mic, his voice and his mic work was like, I hate it. And to see how far that's come, like, now I thoroughly enjoy his voice. And, like, I love his evil character. Like, it's awesome. So to see, like, you know, this was a guy that I didn't like. And now he might be my favorite wrestler. You know, it's crazy to see that, you know? Yeah, I mean, I didn't like Taylor Black at all. I remember seeing him win the title.
No.
And I was just like, oh, this guy's trash. I really was not pleased. I think at that point when he won the title, like Bryan had left, I want to say like I wouldn't be surprised if like Generico was almost gone or gone.
No, Generico was there. Like I think he got signed before Generico, but I think it was like right after Aries. Like I think he might have beat Aries.
Yeah, he beat Aries, and I was just like so unhappy with. I was like, this guy's gonna be.
You went your first ROH show was Aries winning the title.
Yeah, I like Aries. I've always liked him. What is he?
Exactly.
He just seems like a little douchey guy, and there's a part of me that just wants to be a little douchey guy. I may be there. I'm not sure yet. Was there an Apollo? This just makes me think. Was there an Apollo Sheamus thing on Raw?
I think they might have had a whatchamacallit, like backstage, like vignette with Cruz, but I don't think they did anything else.
All right. I hope he goes over, gets the rub over Rocksteady. The scary thing is I feel like he's just going to lose.
I don't really think. Yeah, see, like that's the thing. Like Sheamus
he's in a movie.
One of those guys that is like I feel like he's one of their favorites, but I don't know. Like I don't think you really do this unless they really like Apollo Crews and they have something good planned. Because what's the point otherwise? He's a little guy. He's going to get killed. You don't need to make Sheamus look like a monster. So I don't know. Are they? Is this? Is this another example of Vince McMahon's racism? Sheamus is Rocksteady, and we need a turtle. Like, let's look on our roster. Does anyone look like a turtle?
I mean, come on, his name is bad enough.
If he comes out wearing like
Terry Crews,
wearing like a Ninja Turtle mask, then that's it.
Like,
stop watching wrestling because just blatant racism.
Do you think like that? Do you think that like Vince, when they're coming up with the name, I'm sorry because Vince, name some black people. Well, Apollo Creed. Who's that guy?
Terry Crews.
Who's that guy in the Expendables? Yeah. Terry Crews. That's it. There you go. Apollo Crews.
He definitely was like Terry Creed. There it is, Terry Creed. No, Vince. Apollo Crews. Oh, that's much better. Why did I think of that? No. And then he would probably be like, no, you know what? Apollo Crews.
that would be so good. Man, I would love to imagine. Like we've heard stories that he's obviously like this, right? But I would imagine it comes out at the end that Vince actually wasn't like that. Like it was all like everyone was always lying about it. Like Vince is a little bitch and backstage.
He's just the great,
Like, okay,
the greatest person ever to work for.
What does everybody think about this? You know what? Let's take a timeout and go eat and come back, and then we'll decide.
I don't think we talked about that. That's one other thing that we have to address is the Shane McMahon podcast. Did we talk about that last week?
I think we did, because I had watched it Monday night right away. Okay. So I think we were able to talk about it.
That story about Vince just walking in there, getting punched in the face, like that just shows you, like, and Shane said it like, he knew he did him wrong, but he had no choice, so he went in there and took like man, and that's just admirable, Like, hey, I didn't want to do this. I tried not to do this. You forced my hand, but I'm still going to give you what you feel you need.
I mean, it shows how he is, how wrestling has its roots in this old school business,
Yeah. Or just, how he has his roots in that old school nature, because not everyone not everyone in wrestling is the same way. People would have just left in wrestling.
Triple H wouldn't have.
But Triple H is from that old school.
Yeah. So I guess we have to see what Rose Levesque does when she takes over WWE. Or I'm sorry, I can creepily name one of Triple H's kids. I can't creepily name one of Shane's kids, because I read I remember stuff. So I remember seeing the article where it was like Triple H had they had a baby girl and her name's Rose or something like that.
It would have been great if he named his 3 kids like Hunter, Hurst, and was like Helms or
something.
Hemsley. You know.
I don't know.
There's got to be some weirdo out there that named their kids Hunter herself.
Yo, look, I mean, I would mess around if my last name was King. My last name was King.
Jerry.
Oh no, I'm not even going that crazy. Like jump, like jumping. No, wait, no, not King. Ray King. Then Joseph King. So you have Ray King, Joe King. I need another one that ends that way.
Wow, we've gone down a dark road here.
Breaking. Breaking. Oh my God, breaking.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is, whew, wow. Thank God you have a son, and that is not his name. Let's be thankful for small favors.
I know a kid in grammar school. His last name was Chu, and I begged him to name his kid Ah. I really wanted his name just to be Ah Chu. No. Hold on, where is this? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here all week.
So, this is that just like terrible like teacher humor, because like the math teacher at my school does the same kind of stuff, and like I'll be dying, and the kid is like, Jeff, what are you laughing at? Like, she's not funny. And I'm like, nah, one day you'll reach an age where you find the humor in this. Like, you know, she's not doing it to actually be funny. She's doing it to fuck with you guys. But yeah.
It's my favorite. All right. I can't. I don't think there's anything else that we missed out on this week. Discussed Raw. SmackDown happened, but whatever. Nothing really happened, as per usual. I'll be updating us next week on lots of Ring of Honor, because apparently I'm going to be reviewing some video on demand over there. So,
any idea what?
Yeah, I'll be starting with the Conquest Tour show from April 23rd. Then the one a week after, the April 30th in Warwick. And then I'll also be looking at War of the Worlds from D-Born.
These are like live events?
So War of the Worlds, the New York tour. So like basically I'm watching four live events that they put up on VOD, and I'll be looking over those, I guess, over the next 2 weeks. So, you know, what's funny is by the time we tape next week, I will basically be discussing Ring of Honor, even though I'm watching from middle of April shows, current stuff. This week, I won't lie, and this is what happens every time. They get me excited. They decide we are going to build storylines, and we're going to so they have like this whole thing with Silas Young and ACH now, and they're finally going to end. They're finally going to end the Carino Whitmer. All right, like they're going to have a fight without honor, best in the world. Then they had like some tag team stuff going on. And there's also an announcement that they're going to have like this thing called Tag of War. It's going to be a 2-day event or something where they have 3 triple threat tag team matches. That's going to eventually determine the number one contenders for best in the world, which is.
See,
I'm excited about that.
When I hear, I'm spoiled because. PWG does DDT4, which is like something like, tag team tournament, whatever. And like it's amazing. It's 2 days of just straight tag team matches and like guys making teams just to be in the tournament, and then shit lasting or stuff coming out of it, and it's just a cool thing. So like, whenever there's a tournament, I'm like, yeah, but it won't be as good as that. So, like, when you first said that, I was like, oh, maybe they're just stealing PWG's idea. But then you said, differently, which is always a good thing, because you don't want to just do what they're doing. But, we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
I just saw this tweet from the co-host of the Ringer podcast this week, Latoya Ferguson. What is with Matt Hardy? Like, he looks like, I just saw his hair. Like, he looks like a weirdo. Like, I don't watch TNA. Like, is he just like totally weird now?
I don't think so. Like, he's just like a heel. Like, I don't.
Oh, there's just this weird picture of his hair that looks like a vampire. Maybe it's from a movie or something.
Oh, where it says like he refuses interview, and it's like all puffed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, he just looks really weird. I don't know. I hate Matt Hardy. Sorry. This is why I don't watch TNA. I'm so happy.
Well, see, like, it's a storyline, dude. Yeah, see, like, it says, like, oh, so I asked Matt Hardy for an interview this week. He said he's broken. He can't do it. So, yeah.
Got it.
It's just a storyline.
Hate him. All right.
Oh, this is what I meant to say. Did you see that they pulled TakeOver before SummerSlam from Ticketmaster? And then when people were, like, freaking out, they were like, oh, no, it'll be back just with updated logos and new details. So what that means, I don't know. But clearly NXT is getting some type of makeover for TakeOver. I like that one, right?
I don't. Oh, that's not a bad idea.
What?
Takeover makeover.
Well, that's not what I was going for, but they're doing something, you know, and clearly Triple H said that this is the end. So what does that mean? You know, we're definitely in for some interesting times.
They better not F this up, man. They better not empty out NXT.
They can't. But, like, I don't know. I don't know what they do. Like, they could empty out who they have that's ready. And then they could sign Marty Scurll or Zack Sabre or, you know, TJ Perkins. They could sign like that and just replenish it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
I don't want that to happen.
No, me either. But, you know, I don't know. I'm quite interested what's going to happen. You know, they even did a whole segment on Raw where they just admitted we have no idea what's going to happen. We have no idea what's going on. So, you know, like, my friend EJ asked the other day, like, oh, like they knew they was talking about splitting up. Like, they can't do that, right? Like, you know, they make mad money and blah, blah. And I was like, well, yes, correct. They should never. But what if they think Kofi on SmackDown and Woods and Big E on Raw will sell 2 T-shirts, and then you can have 2 versions of New Day, and it will be twice the fun. You know, I could see them thinking that, and it'll be terrible, but I could see them doing it.
I'd be really disappointed. I mean,
100%.
Let's not be negative. Let's not even think
No.
what's going to happen.
Like, that's what I'm saying is just I don't know what's going to happen. You know, like if you're looking to me for a concrete answer, I don't have one at this moment in time because anything is up in the air. They've in past drafts, they've split up tag teams. They've split up stables and whatnot. So how could I ever be sure that they're not going to do something crazy and stupid?
You have to have the faith, man.
Oh, nobody is more positive when it comes to WWE than I am. But, you know, I'm not negative right now. I'm just saying I don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so hopefully they do the right thing. And I think New Day being in such a spotlight is showing that they're not that stupid. You know, like they know what they have right now. So there's no point. They can always break them up and trade them or whatever whenever they feel the need to. So, which should literally be never. I don't know. They can always just switch it up a little bit and have Kofi go out just wrestling on his own with New Day, you know, and just have the other 2 as the team. They could do whatever they want with it. But, you know, time alone will tell.
Yeah, I mean, I like the status quo, so I don't like when with guys like that, I feel like they should never ever break up. But
no, I mean, when you have 3 guys who were kind of floundering on their own for points in time, and then you put them together and you found this magic, just keep it as long as you got it. You know, when the crowd turns on them and doesn't want to see them anymore, then you can make the decision. But until that point, no chance.
I'm not being racist here, but it was like when they broke up Harlem Heat, I was really upset. Like very upset. But I didn't realize that Booker was going to be so much better than Stevie Ray. I really didn't know that. But
you're not. Yeah, I didn't either. You're not being racist. It's just like what happens in any sports draft when they're like, oh, this guy is a giant white guy from Europe. Let's compare him to another giant white guy from Europe. You know, like they hardly ever compare the good black player to a good white player. It's a weird.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but you know, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I never thought Booker T was. I don't know, like, you know.
I was upset that he beat Rick Martel in that best of 7 series. I was like, well, this is Rick Martel. This guy's no fucking joke. He was in Can-Am Connection. God, Tom Zenk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yo, do you remember, just before we leave, I want you to remember that there was a point in time where it was a disqualification.
Over the top
jump
rope.
Off the top rope or throw someone over the top rope in WCW.
WCW was a disqualification until like 2001. WCW was a disqualification forever. And then when like Bischoff really started taking over, it was like 95, like somewhere around there, 94, 93, something like that. Because like even in 95 right now, like they're going through the middle rope. You know, they're throwing everyone through the middle. So just crazy.
I want to know if that was like like they were just trying to be different, or if like he comes in, he goes, you know what? I'm sick of seeing here. I'm sick of seeing all the top rope moves. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of seeing guys going over the top rope like that. That's just dangerous.
He legitimately didn't like it. He hated it. I don't know, like podcasts or articles, whatever, but I've read about it or I've heard about it. You know, speaking of podcasts, Jericho has Flair on this past week. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I gotta take a look.
You know, just road stories and stuff. So Flair is ridiculous, and like, you know, we've discussed this before. How like sometimes certain people will talk and you're like, I don't believe shit you're saying. Flair,
every single thing.
I'm torn.
Come on,
because
every single thing.
I'm like, I completely believe what you're saying because you said it forever. But how am I supposed, like, you know, I don't know. You could be making some of this stuff up. But, like, you know, just when he would tell stories and he would be like, oh, and then we'll go to the Marriott at 4 a.m., brother, and just, woo, brother, oh, man. And, you know, Jericho's just like, oh, really, yeah, and it was just that crazy.
You know what?
Oh, brother, you don't know.
I want to be fucking Lee Marshall. Like you hear stories that like Lee no, not on air. Well, I mean, clearly that would be my role on air, but like you hear these stories and like Tim White, I think it is, one of the referees, was like Andre's handler or something. And like wherever they went out to bars and stuff. This dude is always with him. Like you hear these weird, like these guys who play this minimal role backstage, right? So I want to be like a backstage interviewer who like ends up going to party with Flair. You know, like woo, Arn was there, and then and that guy Rich Laccone was there. You know, he was always there grabbing my back. He was the best. You know, like he woke
that little announcer. I don't know if you ever heard of him. You know,
he would drink us under the table. You should see what him did. You know, he took off his underwear. What, like, you know, I love when he talks about
trickle down off us onto him, brother. Woo!
Like when they talk about how there was a random just dude who's part of their party group. That to me is the most exciting because that's my dream.
That should be you. Yeah.
That's where I could maybe one day get to. Like, you know, I don't know. Probably not.
Hopefully, man. Plenty of time.
Man, Sin Cara is crazy. You know, like I don't know. All right.
No, like on in FCW when they used to have to take the Great Khali around. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hogan's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I need to go grocery shopping. All right, here we go.
I'm not. You guys can't see this because this is the video.
Really wondering what you're doing, by the way.
I got the Raja Singh. Like if I flatten my hair out, make it longer.
You just shaved. You could be him.
Like I could dance and everything. I'm doing the dance right now.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! You know what the worst part is?
We have a dance right now.
We have a viewer.
Yeah, of course. I hope it's somebody you know, and they just watch you do that and play it for all your friends for the rest of your life.
Totally forgot that.
Oh wait,
all right,
that'll be me.
So that's it, right? We good for this week?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we talked more about Raw than they did on Raw. So.
All right, so I'm going to go into my wind down that gets you angry every time. So just last reminder that you guys are being brought to you in partnership with LastWordOnSports.com. We are also being in partnership with Pro Wrestling Ponderings. That's pwpponderings.com. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Google Play. You can find us anywhere you can find podcasts. Please go over to our iTunes page. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe, and then leave a comment, rate, and review our podcast while my partner falls asleep over here. And lastly, if you want to reach us directly, send us emails, comments, anything. Send it to runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at Running Wild, LWOS. You can find us on Facebook at Running Wild on Wrestling. And you can follow me on Twitter at Rich_Laconi.
And just take care and spike. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not us.
And last reminder that you guys have been listening to the podcast that is just too sweet.